Hello, hello. Welcome to an Orange Life second content video. My first video, the psychology of plastic surgery, cosmetic surgery for women, is already up. So this is my second one. This psychology of is the psychology of men. Now, mind you, this series is going to be in four parts because I have to break it down and I'm trying to keep the videos with being no longer than 20 minutes a piece because this is a lot. But let me just tell you, by the time you finish listening to my series, you'll be able to choose a better man because you need to understand the psychology of men, how they think and how they function. Because women, for some reason, we think that we know how men are or we know certain things, but it's a lot of things that we don't know, that we didn't know rather. So let me just give you a little background about myself really quick, and then I'll go into it because I know people are going to say, well, what makes her qualified to say anything? What does she know? Well, I'm going to tell you, I'm a registered nurse. I've been a psychiatric registered nurse for many years. I've also worked in other disciplines of nursing, but psychiatric nursing has my heart, and I've been practicing in psychiatric nursing much longer than any other field. I've worked at the premier psychiatric hospital in the US. I've worked there for several years. I've also done forensic nursing, which is patients with psychiatric issues that are really intense. I'm talking about serial killers, the things of that nature. So the information that I give in my psychology of series, it's not just from personal experience, it's also from research, from studies I've found, and also from doing field work that I've also interviewed many men for this series. So I'm armed with everything that I need to know to present to you guys. This is mostly for women. This is a ladies series, but men can listen if you just want to hear it and see what's going on. So I'm going to start from the beginning and then we're going to go through. Um, in this video, I'm going to deal with the early stages of men, starting as young boys, and then we're going to go all the way through. But trust me, if you find this episode to be a little dry and a little boring, don't worry. Trust me, it really picks up. But I have to start at the beginning because you need to understand quite a few things so that I could give you a full picture. So let me get right into it. When boys are little, and we're talking about under 5 years old, they pretty much know that they are boys. When I say they know they are boys, they don't know, of course, in the logical sense. They know because of how they feel innately. And when I say how they feel innately, if you take some toys, if you put a doll out and you put some cars out and just let the boy choose, nine times out of 10, the boys will choose the cars. Now, if the boy chooses the doll, it's not because he it could be a couple reasons, but let's just say if the child is under, say, 3 years old, that's not uncommon because children that young are still trying to figure out where they fit with certain things. So this is why this may occur. You have to excuse the sirens in the back. I live in a big city, and as we know, in this new world, the sirens is a part of life now. Because where I live at, I never heard a siren, and now I hear them every day. So it's whatever. But anyway, back to the video. So um this is what happens with young boys. They, under 5, they pretty much know that they about their, say, masculine traits. Now, they, like I said again, they don't know logically, they just know how they act, and it comes from within. The word is innate. Innate means it's a part of you, it's within you, it's who you are. So for boys, it's innate. So what you do notice about boys when they're little, when they're toddlers, they like to run, jump, throw things, they're fascinated with height, those types of things. So boys under 5, they need their mothers at that point because from birth to those early toddler stages, they need a lot of nurturing at that age. They're learning how to walk, talk, eat. They cry more, things like that. So children, boys under 5, they need their mothers more than their fathers at that age. Now, moving on from the only thing, let me say this, the only thing that boys need help with under 5 is toilet training, because there are some women that'll train their boys to sit down and pee, and the boys will get into pre-K and learn to stand up and pee. But because women don't usually think about that, they don't think about how important it is to teach a boy to stand up and pee. Now, at first, when you teach a child toilet training, you teach them, of course, sitting down because you're introducing it to them. But as they like get more, proficient at it, then you're supposed to teach the boy to stand up. And you're also supposed to be getting him up at least once a night to go to the bathroom so he doesn't wet the bed. Because again, that's all a part of growing up as a boy. It's embarrassing for a boy to wet the bed all the time. That messes with their self-esteem. So men know that. Men know that, and that's why men are needed to help with the toilet training. And again, that's getting closer to 5, because boys are not fully potty trained until they're like pushing 4. Some boys are 4 going into 5, especially in this post ponderosa, so it could take that much time. But anyway, that's what boys need. And what happens is, over 5 years old, the boy starts needing either his father or a positive male role model to help them from that point. Because at 5, that's when the boy is going out and realizing what his place is and what his role is. For example, when they go into the classroom setting and it's time and they're around other little girls and things like that, they'll hear things like, let the girls eat first, or let the girls go first, she's a lady, she's a girl, or don't do that, you're too rough, she's a girl. So that's when they start learning, okay, I have to be soft with her because she's a girl. She looks like a girl. She talks like a girl. She looks like a girl. She's a girl. So I'm going to be softer with her than I am with my friend Joey over here, who we crash our cars together every day. So this is where boys learn that at. And because they're starting to learn that they're masculine at a young age, this is where a man is supposed to step in and teach him. And I'm going to give you a good example. Say, for example, you're a single mom, you have to get a ladder to change a light bulb in your ceiling. Say the phone rings, you got to grab your phone, you left the ladder. Say your 5-year old, say his balloon got up in the ceiling. He had a balloon and it's up in the ceiling and he can't reach the string. The string is short. He may climb that ladder. Now he may turn to you because he's up high and say, "Well, mom, mom, come get me," or "Mom, I can't get down." He might yell and tell you to come get him. Most women, being nurturers that we are, our first instinct, "Oh, my baby," you're going to tell him to either jump in your arms or you're going to assist him to get down. Whereas a man would talk him down, because men know that they have to teach boys how to problem solve. They don't, coddle. Men do not coddle boys. They teach them, how to be a man, how to problem solve, how to do things on their own, because they have to learn to stand as men and be their own men. So in order to do that, men will teach them, you need to do this, you need to do that. And, that's how, that happens. So that's why it's important for a man to be teaching a boy after 5 years old, because a woman cannot uh, feed a boy feminine reactions and experiences. And that's all women can offer. You cannot offer male input, male experiences, because you're not one. So when women talk or they try to help a boy problem solve, you're doing it from a feminine standpoint and not a masculine standpoint. And this is why boys get confused. And when they're, like preteens or young teenagers, they have difficulties with their emotions and behavior because they don't know how to emotionally regulate themselves or have emotional control, because they weren't taught by a man how to regulate those emotions or how to navigate through any problems that would help keep their emotions under control. And see, that's what it is. See, women get emotional because as soon as something happens, we're busting out crying. You know, we go through all kinds of stuff. We spin like a top. But men are more logical, and men will be like, okay, what's the facts? What's this? What's that? Women don't always do that. Women are, first thing we start doing is we get upset, we start crying, we can't do this, we can't do that. I know for me, when I get upset, I'm gonna go lay down. I'm sorry. I just lay down. I'm like, listen, I'm gonna go lay down and take a nap because I can't do nothing else. So that's what I do. And I'd rather leave it up to a man to fix it, child, because I can't do it. Jesus fix it. Because I can't do it. So I know how I react. But for men, men are supposed to be problem solvers. That's what women go to men for. We go to them when we have a problem, wanting them to fix it because men are more logical. But when a woman is raising a boy and she is inputting how she would fix a problem, or the boy is watching the mother deal with problems in a way that is feminine and not masculine, this is where the confusion comes in at. So I want to give you ladies, I like to give little footnotes here and there, and I'm gonna do it in each part. When you're out here dating a man for marriage, not just, out here just dating, having fun. If you're dating a man with intent to marry, you really need to look at family background. If he was raised by a single mother, you need to find out if there was a man around to help raise him from a young boy into adulthood. If he was raised by all women, run, run, because he's not going to be the marrying type. He's not. And I'm not saying that there's not men out here that have been raised by women that don't make good husbands. What I'm saying is that most of the time, the majority of the time, men that are raised by all women, they're emotional. They don't know how to emotionally regulate. They're not good at problem solving. They want to switch roles with you sometimes. So, they're not at their masculine height when they're raised by all women because that's just hard to do. If a man is being raised by all women and all his input his whole life comes from women all around him, he's going to have feminine ways. And when I say feminine ways, I don't mean exhibit them like he's walking around acting feminine. I mean in the way that he responds to you, the way he handles problems, the way he handles stress, the way he handles pressure. He's going to have feminine ways about him. And for some women, it depends on who you are. Some women don't want men like that. There are women that want true masculine men. And I'm one of those women. I don't like feminine men. I like masculine men. I don't like nothing feminine about a man. So I don't care. I don't like the men emotional. I don't like them talking a lot. I don't like none of that. I like men that are men. And it's not a lot of them out here in certain communities. So I'm coming up on 14 minutes because I'm paying attention to my time. I'm going to close out this part one, and I'm going to go ahead and start and do part two because I want to keep these short and light, and I have a lot more to cover. So I just wanted to give like a little brief little intro about, because I had to start at the beginning. So I needed to do a brief little intro because you need to know how this all begins, how a boy becomes a man, and what happens along the way. And in the beginning, this is how it happens. When a boy is raised around too many women, he has too many feminine qualities about him. And for women who like alpha men, as they're called, these are the men, these are the ones you want. You want an alpha man. These men that are raised mostly by women, they are feminine. So they have feminine ways. Let's just say that. And you're not going to like it because it's like being in a relationship with your girlfriend sometimes. And that's something you don't want. You want a man to be a straight up man. So I'm going to close this out. I'm going to go to part two. Like, comment, subscribe, share. I thank you for clicking this video. And believe me, I'm getting to the good stuff. We're going to part two. Trust me, part two, three, and four, you don't want to miss. If you're discouraged by this video, trust me, the information I have in the next three is what you need. This was just the intro to get you to understand where it begins. So it begins here when they're young. Now I'm going to close this out and we're going to go to part two, and then I'm going to work on the other ones. So thank you. Have a good day. And I will be back with part two of the psychology of men.